Kick-ass facts! Pew, 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 pew! Let's talk about some old-timey jobs. In the early 1900s, Marshall Field's department store used professional scapegoats, or fired men, who would take the blame and be fired to appease disgruntled customers. Instead of just apologizing or offer a refund, the store would fire an employee in front of the customer, often in a theatrical manner, to show that the company took the complaint seriously. This would give the impression that the store was deeply committed to customer satisfaction and would go to any lengths to ensure shoppers were content. In the 18th to early 20th century, especially in Britain and Ireland, knocker-uppers would wake clients up in the morning before alarm clocks were affordable or common. Hired to wake up wealthy clients in the morning by knocking on their doors or windows using sticks, batons, or pea shooters, they had no set working hours and worked until everyone on their list was awake. Professional mourners date back to ancient Egypt, China, and Rome and still exist in some cultures today, for example, parts of Africa or Asia. However, just wait. They were hired to grieve loudly at funerals, showing the deceased importance and bolstering the event's gravitas. There is currently in the UK a company called Rent a Mourner based in Essex, and they hire out actors at a rate of $70 Canadian per hour to attend funerals. The service includes the employees crying openly and behaving as if they knew the person in front of their friends and family. The company currently employs 20 mourners who are well briefed on a deceased client's history, background, accomplishments, and relationships. Listen, I will go to your $40, 40 Canadian dollars, and some finger sandwiches. I will weep from every orifice of my face. I will even dramatically fling myself on your coffin for an extra $15. Prominent in Tudor England during the 16th and 17th century, the groom of the stool was a highly prestigious job due to the proximity to the king and offered political influence. What did they do? They were responsible for attending to the king's personal hygiene, particularly assisting with bathroom duties. From the 17th to 19th centuries in Europe and North America, resurrectionists, also called body snatchers, stole corpses from graves and sold them to medical schools for dissection and anatomy studies. It was the inspiration for the phrase skeletons in the closet. Burke and Hare were Scottish murderers who didn't want to dig up graves, so they just turned to murder. Sewer hunters from the 17th to 19th century. They were employed to retrieve lost or dropped items from sewers of major cities. This dangerous job involved wading through filth and navigating the intricate sewer systems, usually in search of valuable goods or objects of importance. Bone pickers were also popular in the 19th to 20th century in areas like London. Bone pickers collected animal bones from butcher shops and markets to sell them to bone mills, and then the bones were used for creating items like buttons, combs, fertilizer, and charcoal. In the 19th to 20th century, especially in Cuban cigar factories, a lector read aloud to factory workers to entertain them during monotonous tasks. Lectors were often seen as political influencers since they read socialist or revolutionary literature. If you've ever wondered where the phrase whipping boy comes from, wonder no more. 15th to 17th century Europe, whipping boys were a royal child's proxy for punishment since it was deemed improper to discipline royalty. Interesting twist, these boys often became close friends with the young princes. Could you imagine watching your friend stirring up some shit knowing that you're going to be the one who gets your ass kicked? I have saved the best, worst for last. This last one does not fill you with rage, get off my page. From medieval times to early modern Europe, there was a job called a scold's bridle maker. Let me tell you what a scold's bridle is. It was sometimes called a witch's bridle, a gossip's bridle, a brank's bridle, or just branks. And it was an instrument of punishment as a form of public humiliation. It was an iron muzzle in an iron framework that enclosed the head. A bridle bit or curb plate was slid into the mouth and pressed down on top of the tongue, often with a spike as a compress. The scold's bridle was used on women to silence the wearer from speaking entirely, to prevent women from gossiping or nagging. It was also used as a corporal punishment for other offenses, notably on female workhouse inmates.